Well, I'll tell you, it does not look like much right now, but probably in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, hopefully we get some rain. This will turn into something that is going to be very, very beautiful and very scrumptious. They call themselves Rooted, and I'll tell you what a great bunch of guys passionate about the outdoors. So I have them this year planting a bunch of our food plots up here in Minnesota. We'll see you guys in about a month and show you what this baby looks like. You know, it's kind of funny, and I don't know if it's just, you know, luck of the draw, but we haven't had any rain in about 2 months, anything consistent. Finally, we're getting rain. It's rained the last 3 days. It's opening day of bow season. I got all these guys up here, and boy, it just sucks that it's raining. Now we got to do more work on the house. Yeah, sorry guys, you know. That's only 42. To back her up a little, eh? First shot, 42 yards. Think I'm ready to go kill something. That one was dead. That's freaking wicked. Wicked.
Here in Minnesota Doe Camp, and got a lot of people in the house there, and quite frankly I'd rather sleep in this tent than that old farmhouse anyways. And this is our line of Gazelle tents. Works kind of like a hub line if you're familiar with hub lines, if you're a hunter. This is actually our original Gazelle. This is the original tent. The orange T4 was the original Gazelle. So this is I think we've had these out for 9 years now. It's become it's still our most popular size, still our most popular model. You stake it down and voila, you got a tent. Guess you gotta hook the rain fly to the hubs. That's the last step.
Wow, that was fast.
Let's do it.
I've always dirtied everything that I found. This ain't no difference, so look at you now. And baby, cut yourself loose. Save all the things that I said that night. Playing it cool, but I never got it right. Baby, cut yourself loose. I was mesmerized by your eyes.
Well, thank God for Mike's Country Meats Jerky, because there's no meat tonight.
Custom Rods. Today is our second day hunting in Minnesota up at Larry Smith's farm. We got a perfect wind. Seen some deer here last night, so hopefully one gets close enough here. We're switching it up from fishing, getting out of the shop and getting into the woods and doing some hunting. Targeting some does this weekend and hopefully putting some meat in the freezer. But hopefully we can see some nice deer tonight, put one down. deer. It's a little far back, but it's only ran about 50 yards. Went down, so we're gonna get the guys and go get this thing cleaned up. Be a good eating deer.
Pat's got the first deer down. Yeah. Woohoo! Love it.
All right, so these are our pork belly burnt ends, something we run out here in the barbecue shack. The pork belly bites are also available up at the meat counter. We get a nice crust on them in the smoker at about 275 for maybe an hour, with some Leroy's Original barbecue sauce and a stick of butter. And then we pop them back in the smoker for about 2 to 3 hours until they get this nice crust on them. Great smoky flavor, nice sticky barbecue sauce. It's a beautiful bite, especially for a nice summer day.
You know, a very important thing, you know, just as important as food plots, especially on a year like this year where the water, we haven't had hardly any rain at all. And water, you know, nothing can live without water or food. So, you know, we put in a couple of these earth ponds and they really seem to be a major attractor. But, you know, the problem is sometimes getting into some of these areas to refill these earth ponds is a key thing, and having the right piece of equipment to be able to do that is important. So we've got a really nice wagon right here, and I'll tell you something, using a 30-gallon drum, we can get this into really tight spots and it works out really well. So let's fill this thing up and go fill up that earth pond. Here's the biggest mistake that people make about these earth ponds, and you can see I have some dirt and stuff on the bottom there. So important, unless the buildup really gets super thick, to leave most of that stuff in there. You know, they like that taste, and got minerals in here. And that's been the key. You know, on our property here, we have a beautiful trout stream that runs through there. I've said this before to you guys, it's very rare to ever see them deer drink out of that stream. They prefer to drink this water that's more stale. So again, it has that muddy taste to it, minerals in there. So that's why I don't really clean out my earth ponds. I leave them, unless they really get bombarded with dirt, I leave them with at least some mud and some sticks and stuff in there. Just, it seems like they prefer that more. So let's dump this water in there. Hey, Michael, you want to give me a hand? It doesn't really matter how it gets in there, as long as it gets in there, right?
Got the right wind?
It's sketchy.
Can't kill him on the couch.
That's right.
All right, go get him, you guys.
Hey guys, I'm Levi with Barronett Blinds. It's day 3 in Minnesota doe hunt in southern Minnesota. And we're up in a cage blind on a food plot. We've been seeing a ton of deer here. Unfortunately, they've been on the opposite side of the plot when I've been sitting here. But last night, Pat from Meg's Custom Rods had one come in and actually filled a tag. So Noah and I are out, and we're going to try it again tonight and see if we can get one to commit. Stay tuned.
It's my last night here. I gotta go back home to my wife and kids. I did have some luck. I had a doe come in at 30, 35 I guess. I did hit her a little bit back, so I'm a little bit nervous here, but hopefully we can spend some time back at camp and come back after a little while here and see if we can find some blood.
That is. Oh, this is sweet. Don't hit anything.
I didn't need the hip.
Oh, good thing we got Levi driving. That seems like a real good choice.
Hey Levi, this is like a perfect example of bow hunting. And I think that, and I used to be that way too, as far as after you shoot a deer, you know, try to retrieve it too soon. Don't go and look for that deer. The nice part about it is either having a Tacticam, or lucky enough we had both on here, where we could see for sure where that placement was, and it was a little far back. and not to go and retrieve that deer right away. So we took the gamble last night, and we basically let her lay all night long. And you can tell when you look at this deer, there's not even rigor mortis set in here, and the blood is still warm, that she just died within the last couple of hours. I've had this happen to me several times where my placement was not where I wanted it to be. I knew the deer was gonna die eventually, but again, not going after that deer and jumping it, because typically you jump one of these deer one time, they're gone so far that the chances of finding them are slim to none. The only problem is last night, again, I was talking about earlier, we did get rain, and we have 6 guys here, and we kind of just got on the main trails and fanned out, and it didn't take us, we got lucky. It didn't take us more than 15 minutes to find her.
Right.
So in your, in your experience, Levi, you do a lot of bow hunting. We all are big bow hunters. We love the outdoors, we love the sport, we love to eat deer. In your opinion, do you think we did the right thing?
Absolutely. Everyone wants to double lung a deer, heart shot a deer, and it's not always reality. Yeah, definitely if we would have came in last night, she would have been gone.
Yeah, and I know that you're a little down on this whole thing because, everybody, when you shoot and you shoot and you shoot, you take pride in what you're doing, right? And you also, you care about the animal. I don't care what anybody says. Hunters, for the most part, have more respect for Mother Nature and for the resources than most people, for sure, because this is what you live for. You live to hunt, you live to see the animals out here. You just live to be part of this whole thing that's going on. Hey guys, we got some more deer hunting to come, and I'll tell you what, this is number 2, and Pat shot one this morning, so we're gonna go look for his next. So hey, you guys, hang on to your heinies. We got a lot more to come.
It's almost like the days when you had a Harley and you were waving to the guy on a bike. You see another warrior on the water, you just get a good feel.
First class, all the way from the people that ride them to the people that make them.
They do such a nice job with communication. They'll pick up the phone anytime. It's really almost a friendship.
You could be in any state, and when somebody with a warrior drives by you, you get that honk, that beep. You're truly part of a family, and there's nothing like it.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, there we go.
The old Zimmerman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that thing. I love it. The old Shiva man. Oh, what do I got now? I got another species, yeah! Absolutely great product.
Shot a deer. So this morning I had a nice buck come in, then it went downwind of me and it blew, so I kind of thought my hunt was going to be over, and then about 20 minutes later I had two does come in to my right, and they were moving super fast. I barely had time to grab my bow, and 17 yards, boom, and I think she's laid up over there about 50 yards away, so let's go check it out. Really nice bright blood here. The shot felt really good. I think it's a double lunger.
Hey Pat, congratulations, man. I'll tell you what, you are the star so far this week. This is the second doe you got this week, and I'll tell you, the shot placement was absolutely excellent. This deer went, I don't know how far.
Maybe 50 or 60.
Yeah, and you actually got to see her actually go down too,
Yeah.
huh? That's the cool part about it too. And this is the exit wound, and you know what? Perfect placement. Hey, so let's kind of talk about the situation on this deer. You did not have a lot of time to take that shot because things were pretty tight where you were sitting.
From when I seen the deer to the shot, and my bow was on my hanger, 10 seconds at the most.
Holy man.
And the deer were just moving very fast this morning, and I seen a glimpse and they were moving quick, so I grabbed my bow and I did a lot of movements, and I don't know how she didn't see me.
Right, that's the big thing.
I had to stop her right before she got into this huge brush, and she stopped and I made a good shot.
That is definitely a nice deer. And hey, you're gonna have some venison to go home with.
Good food,
yeah. That sounds awesome. You know, here's the interesting part about Pat. You're always one of them kind of guys when you get into a sport. It doesn't matter if it's MMA fighting, or if it's fishing, or if it's building rods or bow hunting. You take it to the extreme, and you're that kind of guy that takes it just that little bit farther, and that's absolutely awesome, and that's why you build such great rods, right?
Yeah, when I do something, it literally consumes my life until I can get really good at it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yep, dedication. To Pat's mom and dad, you guys did an incredible job raising this kid, and he's on the right direction. Let's keep more of this country on that right direction. Hey, Pat, congratulations on this. We got one more night left. Let's see if we can trim our herd down a little bit more.
Leave it to Pat. He does it again. That's why he's here. Take the deer herd down.
Hey everybody, this week's tip of the week brought to you by our good friends up at Mike's Country Meats, the finest jerky on the planet. You know, the old days of just dragging a deer out are long gone. You know, there's so many different ways to be able to get these deer out of the fields, out of the woods nowadays. And if you look at today, we're basically using a wagon and a deer cart. And I'll tell you what, it makes life so much easier. You're keeping the deer a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier on your back, you know what? And it just makes so much more sense versus dragging that deer across the ground all the time too. You're not putting all that scent out there. So, hey, check out these options, you guys. It's a great tip and it makes your life easier. Hey, again, this week's tip of the week brought to you by our good friends up at Mike's Country Meats, the finest jerky on the planet. Camp special, folks, right there.
I am very hungry, and this looks really good.
Larry asked me to show you guys how I break down a hindquarter. He watched me do it yesterday. So I'll walk you through some of this and show you exactly how I break down a hindquarter and then the different muscles within the hindquarter and what they might be good for. This is the piece Larry was most interested in when I was doing it yesterday. I believe this is, again, I hope I'm not making mistakes here, but I believe this is the eye of the round. This is, in my opinion, the most mildly flavored piece of meat in the entire deer. So if you have somebody in your life that doesn't like venison because it's too strong in flavor, and maybe they use words like gamey, this is the piece of meat to feed them. Especially if you're able to hang the deer for a little bit and get a little age on it, and this piece of meat gets really tender. I just cut this thing into like 1-inch medallions and grill those up like that, and it's super mild. It's not as, you can tell it's not as red as like this meat. You can tell it's even a different color. This is dark, almost takes on a purplish tone, and this is much pinker meat. But for people that aren't familiar with venison, this is a great piece of meat to kind of break them in on and get them started in eating it, because it's pretty hard not to like it because it doesn't have any strong flavors, and it's very, very clean tasting piece of meat.
Hey Pat, you were definitely the man of the week. 2 nice does down, you know what, absolutely awesome. You know what, I always hate it though when it's the end of the week and it's time for everybody to go back home. You know, these times are just absolutely some of my favorite times to spend with you guys. You know what, I have to guide tomorrow. You got to get back in the rod shop. Jimmer here is retired, so
he's hanging out.
He's going to hang out and pack up everything. Hey, everybody, you know what? I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you learned a little bit too. Jim, I got to thank you for our good friend from Accurate Archery. You guys are looking for, tell them what they're looking for. You're looking for a light.
You're looking for a light for low light conditions, especially like in a ground blind, early morning, late evening. You can light up your tape, light up your pins, and you can make that accurate shot.
That's what it's all about. Hey, and if you guys are looking for a great custom rod, make sure you give my good friend Pat Maggs here a call. He will set you up with whatever rod you want. The great part is, if you call over at Maggs, somebody's going to answer the phone and they're going to be able to build you that custom rod exactly how you want it. Hey, like we do each and every week, we want to thank all of our sponsors this week for the putting up with us, right? That's the biggest thing. Thank you guys for putting up with me, and especially our got friends over at Rivers Edge and at Barronett Blinds. You know what? We really appreciate their partnership, and they build such great products. Hey, like we do each and every week, we always want to give special thanks to all of our military men and women for the great service they have given us and continue to give us, because we know, no doubt, without them, we would not be able to enjoy this great country that we have and the great resources that we have, along with all of our firefighters, paramedics, and no doubt all of our law enforcement agents. Hey, it is a great day to be alive, and the best part is we're going to see you guys and gals again next week, and thank you for joining us.
I'd definitely put him in the camel clutch.
Really? In the clutch. You don't fight a guy with those ears.
Why?
Cause look at his ears.
I'm just a little guy.
Looks normal. He's tiny. Look how small he is. You're not going to fight him?
I'm not gonna fight him. I would, but the grass is wet. Maybe once it dries up.
Slip fall.
Yeah. Maybe once it dries up.
Yeah.